this setup right now is somewhat out of convenience. For years I used to lug around this huge, monstrosity. It was like a rack system, an MPX, Lexicon MPX1 processor, which you almost always only find in a studio with a line mixer at least this size or more, huge MIDI pedal, and about 1,000 cables. And when you're playing on a metal bill with 6 or 7 bands, and you've got about 3 minutes to set up, and I needed about 25 to get everything wired up. That didn't work so well. The sound quality was really good, but it was just too much to handle, and so I kind of scaled it down to just some pedals, and this is what I have right now. But it's always it's an ongoing process. Always trying new things. Once I got this this looper pedal, I found one that I liked a little better. But of course, it's obviously. Financial constraints are going to, be a key factor. But there's arguments on each side, as far as finding stuff that is tube driven, so it has more of a full and warm sound as opposed to digital effects and whatnot. So this is I run this stuff specifically, like I said. I mean, it's good enough for now, but I'm always looking to upgrade. Unfortunately, there's not too many other saxophone players I can kind of find that do these kinds of things. I did play with the Borbito Magus guys a couple years ago, and they have an array of effects, mostly pedals like this. This is a Session Man. It's like a distortion pedal, a chorus, and they would have 8 or 9 pedals going at once. The only thing, and I loved what the sounds that they were getting. It got to the point sometimes with their stuff where you couldn't really decipher it being a saxophone anymore, which was, I think, the intent, of course. Whereas I'm still trying to leave a hint of that there, regardless of how much effect is used. DigiTech Vocal 300 effects processor. This is just a multi-effects unit that have pre-programmed delays, plate reverb, has a wah effect on it, things like that. And like I said, really convenient. Just to kind of be able to switch through and have this just kind of a variety of different effects. Not hooked up right now, but used is this is just a Session Man Ibanez pedal. It's a distortion and chorus pedal. Distorted saxophone sounds really cool if you can dial it in properly, and I'm still working on that. Okay, so then we use this is a looper pedal where I will tend to create some sort of line or maybe just a drone tone or whatever, and then play off that within the context of some Yakuza stuff, as well as almost all of the solo stuff that I do relies on the loop pedal. That's why I just started doing this about a year and a half ago or so. Had these ideas in mind for a long time, just didn't know how I was going to execute them, and then obviously looper pedal became the answer for all that. So rely on this quite a bit. Really enjoy it. It's like I said, it's kind of a newer experience for me, but it's really fun.
Why this particular one?
I picked this one up for a variety of reasons. One, I had done some research and I read that the sound quality was fabulous, which it really is. It also has a USB out in the back, and all of the loops are actual WAV files that you can actually save later on within your computer, or actually drag things over to the loop pedal as well, and have that as a loop of some sort. So I thought that was kind of cool. And also it has a 1 gig card in it as well, so the loops are just endless. I mean, I think it's some 6 hours. Those were a few of the reasons why I picked it up. And yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty awesome. As long as you don't blow out. There's a mic level thing on there. I just got to make sure that you don't blow the signal out or anything, or else things tend to get distorted, unless that's part of the plan, which a lot of the times it can be. It's just sort of like a mock analog pedal, Ibanez. You can kind of sweep through the speeds, which adds sort of this kind of really bizarre kind of swishy effect, and you can add feedback, repetitions, as well as the amount of delay and stuff. And I use that after the loop just to kind of add a whole nother just sonic element to what's going on. I have a few other pedals I don't have here today, just just to help combat with some of the issues live. I have a small equalizer pedal that I'll try to use to kind of, like I said, find frequencies that are problematic, and I'll work those in and out, and I also have a volume pedal as well that will help a little bit with like kind of controlling if things start getting really out of hand. I can kind of cut back everything, but there's a kill switch on everything, so it's like if it gets too crazy, it just gets cut immediately.
One more question.
Sure.
So how have you worked the whole how to move around on stage with a saxophone while you're doing the generally wild things that you want to do on stage? Was that like a learning process?
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. I've had let's say it's definitely been a learning process, and the horn itself has been repaired at least 3 or 4 times. There's been a variety of instances where something has happened, either snap the neck by throwing it around. These are very delicate instruments, by the way. I mean, within the rock and metal realm of things, people tend to get a little crazy with their guitars and basses and whatnot. As I've learned, you really shouldn't. I still do, but the saxophones are delicate, and the parts are not meant to be thrown around as I tend to do. So I'm trying really hard not to, but sometimes the music just moves you to the point where you just can't control yourself, and that's just the way it is. So
That's
fucking
great.
whatever.
All right.